This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian. Mission 250.
Welcome to the Mission 250 podcast, where we will eventually watch the 250 best movies of all time. We're kind of stuttered out, puttered out, petering out, whatever the word is.
Slowing it down.
5 movies left. Slowing it down. We're afraid of the end, is what it is. And to divert ourselves, we're doing a David Lynch month. And this week we're on the third movie, 2001 movie, Mulholland Drive. David Lynch, just to kind of give everyone an idea of where we're at. TC and I are pretty big fans of Lynch. John is getting to know Lynch, and we started off with Blue Velvet. TC and I thought that was a masterpiece. Lost Highway we watched last week. We were all kind of
not so
middle
much
on that one, if not negative on that one. And then this week we got a movie that was in the most recent Sight and Sound critics list, rated the 8th best movie of all time.
Wow.
Mulholland Drive. John,
go first.
What do you got, dude? 20 seconds. Spoiler-free review.
I mean, I enjoyed watching this one. Still confused. Did not look up what was going on. There were certain parts that came in just that were there and then gone. Certain overlaps that were just hinted at more so than there. But it was an enjoyable, interesting watch. I think it would be a good film to watch again.
Nice. TC, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, this movie is tough sometimes, and then 2/3 in, you're like, oh. If you're paying attention. So I can see why you might be confused, but I think we'll clear that up for you.
Yeah, I'm glad to get it all explained to me, maybe. Go, Dan.
Yeah.
What do you got?
So this, I think we've been trained. This movie is like a reverse Lost Highway. It's the opposite of how that movie is laid out, and it's just better. This movie, we threw around the masterpiece word for Blue Velvet. I'd throw it around for this one, too. This movie is just, it's so incredibly deep, it's mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
Or mind wiping? I don't know.
Mind wiping.
I don't know.
Lost, just to compare it, because it's very similar to Lost Highway. Lost Highway starts with your reality, ends with a dream. This movie starts with a dream, ends
stays
with
in
reality,
the dream.
right?
Yeah.
Right. And it's about murdering your loved one and dealing with it, right? It has in the dream world an alternate version of that person in reality of who they imagine that person to be.
And it deals with the fact that, like, you know, you have this glamorous idea of Los Angeles, and then you become a failed actor and everything's tainted. So much so that you're ready to murder and then subsequently kill yourself. Mm-hmm. And again, at the end of it, you're like, okay, once again, Los Angeles has swept up some innocent person, ruined their life,
really,
and they ended it because of it.
It's not LA. It's really the tiny laughing old people.
It's all about her being a failed actress.
It's the tiny laughing old people that have done all this, really. You see those people in LA, you run the other way. You see the tiny laughing old people.
If you see those fuckers anywhere, get the hell out of there.
Right.
I mean, all of it is so good, right? When they're having that scene where she's acting it out and she's like actually crushing it. And you're like, that's what Hollywood is in everybody's mind. Everybody's mind is this fantastical place where you show up and you crush your audition. And now all of a sudden you're this huge movie star. Right? And we're led to believe that is happening, and then all of a sudden it's not, and that plot twist of it all coming down, and you realize that those fantasies aren't what Hollywood is, and you realize that all of what she has is basically nothing, and she's losing her whole life at this point because of that ideal that she had once where she would become that famous star. That is such a profound turn when you realize it's all a fucking dream sequence, the entire movie. And I think just like, again, that is the same type of deal that you're talking about, Denny, of just like the command over, like, there's a reason why I'm showing you this, and it's going to seem stupid. It's going to seem like, holy shit, that was creepy, kind of weird. Yeah, the director's an asshole. But no, it really means something at the end when they get to that 2/3 and everything changes back to reality and she's about to kill herself. I mean, those are like, that is Hollywood for most people, right? You go in.
And that's just one part of what it's saying, right? And then there's a lot of things just in like a character study almost, where in the first half, all these things are happening inside of her mind. And you can put, like, there are different things of how she wants things to be, how she sees things. You're getting a character of somebody that lives in reality from a dream world with everything that's happening in the dream world. And that didn't happen, at least. I didn't find that much evidence that was happening in Lost Highway that much, or at least in an interesting way. But like every scene in this movie has like Naomi watched this and she's like, why does there have to be so much nudity? Like, why is there so much sex? But it makes sense when she realizes it's her fantasy. It's like she wants to have sex with this woman. That is a huge motivator. So it is absolutely necessary to have those scenes in there. And especially later when you see her angry and, taking care of it herself. And there's everything ties together in so many ways. And it's just crazy because you're never really clear on when is reality. I mean, the second half of the movie is mostly reality, but there are some weird things that happen too, like some stylistic things that aren't meant to be interpreted literally. It's like how she experienced them. There are weird cuts that, like when she sees, was it Diane? She thought she saw Diane in her, or Camilla in her kitchen, and then it cuts back to Camilla, and it's Naomi Watts' character again. Like there is just some weird shit that happens, but I don't know. I thought this movie pretty easy to follow.
I mean,
compared to the other ones,
it's so good. It's just so good. And just like the way that they portray the executives, and it's just like they're all slimy fucks. They're almost like mobsters, right? And they show them as like just straight mob, like you will do what we're telling you, and that's kind of the world it is. That's why it's probably dying at this point.
Well, at least that's what she's making up in her mind to justify,
her
why
not being
she's
successful.
not getting the roles.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Fucking great.
I know.
So, John, you look confused. Just to outline the plot for you, just so we get this basis down so we can continue talking about it. This movie, in reality, is about a girl who won a jitterbug contest, which is why we see Jitterbug in the beginning. They talk about it later at the dinner scene. That's why she went to Hollywood. She got a taste for fame. She won a contest. She came from like the Midwest or wherever she came from to Hollywood thinking she was going to make it. She didn't end up making it. She lost an audition out to this Camilla character who then she had a sexual relationship with her, but Camilla didn't love her. There was a scene in the dream where Naomi Watts' character in reality said, I love you, and she didn't say it back. And then right after that, there's the Club Silencio scene, which is the silence of not getting I love you said back, which is basically her being super upset that the love wasn't reciprocated. And basically this famous actor kind of felt bad for Naomi Watts' character for a bit, got her some little roles in movies, and just dragged her along and shoved her face into all these other relationships as she went higher and higher, marrying the director, all this stuff. As she stayed at the bottom, she felt fucking jealous as shit. She felt hateful. She got a hitman to kill her, and the hitman killed her. And then so she's in her apartment and just is super sad, alone, everything, and then just feels the motivation of like, I saw the small old people as her parents nagging her like, you can do it, go, like motivating her in the pressure of her life. And that just overwhelmed her at the end of being like, I didn't do it. I didn't please my parents or whatever. So I'm going to kill myself. And that's what she does. She kills herself. So that's basically, so what happens in the movie, the first half, is that bedroom, the first time you see it with a dead body, is where she lives. And she's in there wallowing away every day, depressed in bed. You see the dead body there first because this is in her imagination, and she sees herself dying in that bed. But you come back later and she's living there. In the second half of the movie, she's in that apartment. Right after the Club Silencio scene, there's the cowboy guy comes in and says like, honey, time to wake up, or girl, it's time to wake up, something like that. So it tells you that you're coming out of the dream then. And there's evidence at the beginning, too, at the end of the Jitterbug scene. There's the shot of the camera going into the pillow to show you right after the Jitterbug scene, you're going to sleep.
Oh, okay.
So, like, It shows you in the beginning, you're going to the pillow. Everything's a dream. The cowboy comes in who's not actually the cowboy in reality. He's just like some guy who works with her and tries to get her movies or something like that. But that guy says, time to wake up. And then we're in reality. And then she's kind of dealing with, and TC is nodding, and John is kind of understanding. I think I'm talking a lot without any interruption. Is this making sense?
It is to me.
Did you know any of this, John?
No,
is this all kind of new?
It's all new. I had no idea. I thought.
Does that make sense, though?
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't need to kind of watch it with. I needed the Cliff Notes to watch it. I just wasn't ready for this. I still didn't mind watching it, but it's not like I figured this all out on my own. I mean.
It's hard because if you miss one little piece, it's hard to know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
it really
maybe
is.
it's a little harder. I mean, it's not done I mean, you say he does it in your face way. I don't feel like that either. He's not being too like, see what I'm doing here sort of thing. Anyway,
he literally, the lyric says there's the guy in the Club Silencio is saying there's no band.
Right.
This is a
You're
recording.
hearing a
There's
thing,
no
and
band.
then it does it.
And then you have the illusion. They're in the
Right.
theater, and then we have the illusion watching the movie. And that's so like he says, there's no band. Everything is an illusion. You're watching a dream sequence. Is basically what that means.
That's exactly
He's
what
like,
he says, right.
Check out this. And then he brings the woman in, and she sings one of the most beautiful fucking things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And then she falls over, and the tape keeps going. He's like, see? It doesn't matter if you know it's fake or not. You're still going to get emotionally involved in this shit because I have fucking command of you. That's how good I am.
That's fair.
I can tell you it's
fun.
fake, and I can make you feel like it's real.
Not drawing any of the lines. I don't know why. I was not like there to see and I don't know if it's just because first things seem random and I wasn't putting together, and then after a certain point, it's like, okay, just random shit's going to happen, and it's interesting. So I'm just going to go along with the random shit because I just wasn't following. So I'm not. I still think it's pretty cool. I'm not pissed about it, but it's like I just wasn't there. Maybe I was too tired. I had one beer too many.
I doubt it's that. It is. It's. I got that it was a dream. Like it took me watching this time, like maybe 10 minutes after it switched. I was like, okay, I think that whole first half was a dream because like she wouldn't be dreaming. All the stuff in the second half is bad, and that like the realities are different. And she lives in a different place. Like there was a pretty hard cut. So I was like, all right, that first part was a dream, but I missed the huge clue of the camera going into the pillow, right? Because like it seems like you thought it was a bunch of random shit, John, and just like with all other Lynch films, it seems that way, but there is intent. And this movie has like, in my opinion, the most clear intent in the comparison to how confusing it may be. Because like, I overlooked that shot. I was just like, I don't know what this means. The jitterbug stuff, I didn't know what that meant. I was like, this is a kind of a cool looking way to start a movie. I didn't pick up on the fact that she mentions the jitterbug thing later in the scene because I was too focused on how her acting was so great and how pissed off she was, and that whole situation was just tense. So I wasn't like listening to the dialogue. So you miss, like, it's like a puzzle. Like you have to remember every little piece because he trickles them out like all over the movie. But this one, it makes a ton of sense to me, right? Like there's not many gaps where I don't understand. And the scene where we can talk about every scene and how it makes sense. The first watch of that scene in the beginning where they're at Winky's Diner, that seemed just jammed into the movie, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and sort of like there's not really much of a return to that. I think you see
you
see the scary guy with the box later, but the guy who saw the scary guy, I think
he was at Winky's Diner at the cash register when she was getting the hitman.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So he was the guy when he was the guy sitting in the chair saying, "But you were over there by the cash register." He was the one by the cash register witnessing this, and since it was in her head, the thing that he witnessed was this horrible thing, the most horrible thing she's ever done. He witnessed it, even though he didn't know what was going on. But in her mind, she saw it, and then in her head, she went through what he saw. Like him seeing her getting a hitman at the diner is equivalent to him going in back and seeing the thing that terrifies him to death because it's terrifying her to death because she's actually the person inside the mind of this guy in her dream. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It makes sense to me.
That's to me too.
Okay. Does that seem like, are you believing me, John? Are you kind of just like scratching your head? What is your reaction here?
Again, I get when you put it all together, it's fine. I'm not like, I don't know.
You're not going gaga over it like you did Blue Velvet when we started describing it. You're still kind of like just medium.
I am extremely tired right now, so I'm like, I think part of it's just where my head is at. So I apologize. So I'm just like, Like I watched the movie and I showed up for this. Okay.
Good.
I'm sorry. So that
you're gonna have to try, John, because you're the person that we're going to be explaining this to.
I know. I'm realizing that as the evening wears on.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to nod and go, yeah.
TC, how many times have you seen this?
This would be my second. So it does help, I think, obviously, too. Because I've had discussions on this in the past as well.
Yep.
So
you knew it was kind of the first half was a dream sequence before pressing play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I kind of did too.
But, I was able to pick it up as I went, because too, like even that, I'm telling you, that scene that she makes out with the guy stands with you the most, because I remember thinking to myself, this would never happen. And it's like, oh, right, because it's not happening. This is a fantasy world that we're in. When she's doing the acting with the old guy, and they make out.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, you're the best thing we've ever seen. Oh, my God, right? Like, that never happens. It's not a thing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, those are the moments where I'm like, okay, this is... If you're in the know too, like there's some parts where like if you're in the know of the business, you know they're fucking with you because they're making fun of it in a way, and they're showing you that this is not reality, and she's gonna pick that up later. So here's this fantasy scene where she's the best actor everyone's seen in the room. That's not real.
But I think that's a really good point. But to counter that point, I think one of the reasons it might be confusing is because Lynch has in his previous movies trained us to believe that some of the weird acting in his movies is supposed
normal.
To be real.
Right.
So like that could be hard too. But I agree that this movie is standing alone. The acting is so good and natural a lot of the time where like the weird stuff does stand out as
it's
weird even within
obvious.
the dream.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, John, the acting in this movie is
really good.
The best of any Lynch movie. It is incredible. Yeah. And I'm looking for a confirmation over here, trying to keep John awake. Agreed? You shat on Lynch's acting in his other movies, what he gets out of actors. The question is, did you think this acting was amazing?
No, it was really good. It was again, yes. Again, it was
She
striking.
did a fantastic job.
Naomi Watts in particular was really good. And yeah, it was impressive.
She struggled in Hollywood for 10 years before this.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Thought about quitting multiple times. She was struggling to make rent. She actually said that she was driving down Mulholland Drive once and considered jerking the wheel and going off the edge.
Ugh.
That's how hard she was struggling.
Yeah. Welcome to
but
it.
Lynch has a weird way of casting people. He gets headshots and then he has a conversation. And that's it.
I mean,
people
that doesn't seem
doing people things.
Too unreasonable.
No. And sometimes he actually plays the soundtrack, because we can get into trivia. The soundtrack is written before the movies are made, and they help like influence the mood of the movie. But then he plays the music in the background, and then he sits there, has a conversation with them, and then in his mind, he's imagining them in the scene with this music, and if it fits. So like,
which is also like a call out to him probably too, when he's in the car and he's making out. Like that's how these fucking people all actually operate. Right? Mm-hmm. Like directors are always doing that dumb shit, especially pre-Me Too movement, right? This was probably a common thing between the guy that was in the room acting it out, being like, let's get close. And then the director making this is how you kiss her.
The producer, when he like had his arm underneath her armpit, basically like pretty close to her chest. Yeah. I'm just like, this is making me uncomfortable. Yeah. I don't like this.
Well, and this is these people making tons of money off of that shit.
Right.
You know?
And it's nice because Lynch is kind of outside that world. Like he loved LA and he didn't talk shit on Hollywood, but most of his movies were funded outside of Hollywood, and
I could see why.
Shits on them quite a bit. Yeah.
I could see why.
And believe it or not, this movie started off as a television pilot.
Wow. I can see that. Some of it seemed a little bit like soap opera-y. I don't know if it was the way, but I don't know if it was just the time, like with the hair, and it just seemed a little bit like TV-ish. It did. And maybe it was that main brunette actor. She kind of just looked like she could be on a soap opera.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was going to be the follow-up to Twin Peaks. ABC had interest in it. They gave them like $8 million to shoot the pilot, and they shot it. And they edited it together. It was 2 hours long. ABC looked at it and was like, no. We're not going to do anything with this.
No, but wait, look, ABC, you don't get it. You see,
the plot twist is cool,
You're going to the pillow and...
The plot twist wasn't there in the television show because it was going to be way more open-ended in the edit.
Well, that could see
because
why,
they wanted it to like continue on. So a lot of the movie is in the movie. Like a lot of the television show was in the movie, but all of the it was mostly the Diane character, which is the happy Naomi Watts character, I think, if I'm getting those names right. It was mostly the happy character, and they add a lot of the darker character, the second half of the movie, in the reshoots. The reshoots cost $7 more million. It was funded by a French production company, so they basically took the scraps. The scraps didn't work as a movie because it's like a television pilot. You can't just take a pilot and make it, you can't just release it as a movie. It doesn't work because like the way it was, Anyway, they had to like rewrite the ending. They had to redo all the sets because ABC destroyed all the sets. They had to start from zero, essentially, even though they had some footage. But everyone was still on board to do the reshoots because nobody was famous. Literally, none of the three leads were famous at all. Like, they were all found by David Lynch. He made their careers.
Crazy.
Yeah.
This
Which
just
is
goes
awesome.
back to what you were saying, John, about him being a good guy, and liking that more than anything else.
That's right. Yeah.
And he's not concerned about like star power. He just wants what's right for what he wants, which is great.
Yeah.
Robert Forster was probably pissed off. He didn't say anything outwardly, but he's a big actor. He was in 30 Seconds of this movie as the cop in the beginning because he thought it was going to be a TV show. And they had a bunch of like other people that had small bit roles that were more famous than they normally would be for those small roles. And they just, it was a movie. So they just one scene with Robert Forster,
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. He was in there and then he was out of there. But yeah, they added the nude scenes. First David called him and he's like, "This is dead in the water. Sorry guys. Television show's dead in the water." And then like months later, he's like, "We got funding. The bad news is there's nudity now."
Because it has to be.
It's gonna be.
There has to be nudity. It's a French production company. They need nudity. It's $7 million
In order to be the
for us
minimum.
if
They
you
have
take your
minimum
shirts
nude
off.
hours that we've got to meet.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they both agreed to it. It was very uncomfortable. Yeah.
Best performance by Billy Ray Cyrus. That was fun.
That was fun. That was like the one time Naomi piped up.
Oh,
Surprised
yeah.
she recognized him. Like, is that Billy Ray
great.
Cyrus? I'm like, I think it is. That's fucking weird.
Yep. That was weird.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the director's character too. I thought he sort of like he was subtle sort of, but all this shit kept happening to him, and it was almost comedy where he's like, even though it's a pretty dark film, but where he's like his wife sleeping with Billy Ray Cyrus, and he's just dealing
That whole
with
scene
it.
was pretty funny. Like, he
Yeah,
walked
that
around
was
with the
funny.
pink paint on himself
pink
for
paint all
a
over
lot of the
himself.
movie after that.
Yeah. He's like dealing.
His reaction too is just like to walk out of the room, like grab the jewelry case, walk out, grab a can of paint, not frantic or anything, just like, I'm gonna get paint on this jewelry. That's what I'm doing right now.
That's what I'm doing now. I just got told who I'm hiring by the mob. I've had a shitty day.
Yeah.
Billy Ray Cyrus is sleeping with my wife.
Yep.
So,
And Billy Ray Cyrus is telling me to calm down.
Yeah, right.
Fuck this.
I'm gonna put paint on her jewelry. Okay.
That interview scene in the I don't even know where it was. It was the director getting direction from the mob to pick the girl was also good combination of funny and scary. And like there were some lines that were like made me nervous, and then some of it was hilarious. Like when the guy got the espresso and just like spat it into the napkin. I was laughing pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
This is expensive espresso.
He's like, napkin. The guy's like,
You just
"Excuse me, sir?" He's
spit
like,
it back in the. Why don't you
"Napkin."
just spit it back in the cup? Jesus, it's right there.
Because he's dominating. He's a mob, He's a
He's
mob
really
guy.
making more of a
He's the
point
studio.
by making this
He's
big
the
mess.
metaphorical studio. It has control over everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What else? What other scenes are good? What other scenes exist? So, all right, I wanted to do this. There are 10 clues that David Lynch provided because this movie confused a lot of people upon first watch.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk about the 10 clues. So, John, punch yourself in the leg, wake yourself up. These questions are going to be for you mostly.
Questions. I have to answer questions. I
These
think
are questions.
clues.
They're hints.
Okay.
David Lynch provided 10 hints.
Little Easter
These
eggs.
are by David Lynch.
But
to
you
help
already told
understand the
me
movie.
what has happened here. So
Well, there's a lot more. There's questions. We haven't talked about a lot of the movie.
what?
There's a lot in this movie.
Okay.
First one is pay particular attention to the beginning of the film. At least 2 clues are revealed before the credits. I think I did talk about that one.
Don't know
Most
if I
people-
recognize that.
So the pillow one is before the credits. The shot into the bed, into the pillow, lets you know you're going into a dream.
Okay.
There are other guesses online, but that's the only one that I would totally agree with. You guys have any other thoughts? I mean, it was mostly the jitterbug scene. So it could be about the jitterbug being the reality of her life. It could be like the parents are in those shots too, and there's shots where she has her parents behind her, and then she has the shots of her parents not behind her. So there's like 2 different versions of her. So maybe like there's some family death going on with her too. Something like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Getting a lot of...
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Number 2, Notice appearances of the red lampshade. The only one that stuck out to me was like when the phone calls going up the chain to the mobsters. The last phone call, there was a red lamp.
Oh.
A red lampshade.
Which means it's all in her head because that's the thing that's next to her bed. Or
is that what's next to her bed in reality?
Right?
It could be.
Yeah.
I don't know. None of these things, none of these guesses make any sense to me. Do you want to hear some of these?
Yeah. I think I'm
when
looking at the
Diane
same
wakes
list
up
now.
and thinks of Camilla, we learn that the phone by the red lampshade is actually her own telephone, is what
There you go.
TC's saying.
Yeah.
When she answers it, Camilla invites her to the Mulholland Drive party.
Yeah.
So anytime there's a red lampshade, she's thinking of
Chica.
the last party she had with Camilla, I guess.
Where she almost made it.
I mean, she didn't even almost make it there, right? She just was
not at
dragged
all.
along.
It was the
like
first time she was ever close to being in anything in rich
Yeah.
land. Yeah.
Right.
And when the old lady took pity on her, you feel shitty for her. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Tapped her on the hand. Oh, I get it. Yeah, you suck. We all know. Yeah. Sucks for you.
Is that what that was? I didn't get that.
Yeah. Because she was like, yeah, they passed over on me or whatever. And she's like, oh, honey, I get it. And she tapped her on the hand like, sucks to be you. Yeah, no, we're already rich and we're all part of this. I know you are not, but hey, what can you do?
See this nose job? This was from 50 years ago. I already did it.
Right.
I made it.
You know how many bodies we've cleared out? We're good here. So I can't even imagine how much shady shit's gone down in Hollywood over the years when there's these kind of millions of dollars on the line.
I mean, we know a little bit. There's one guy, Harvey Weinstein, who forcibly molested.
No, I meant like
so
killing.
many
I meant like
actresses.
killing people.
Oh, killing
Like,
people. Yeah.
I mean, absolutely.
So many more.
There's got to be.
Yeah. There's a whole rich part of society that is just like a bunch of criminals that are getting away with it and right in front of us.
Yep.
It's fucking
It really is crazy.
crazy. Number 3. Can you hear the title of the film that Adam Kesher is auditioning actresses for? ? Is it mentioned again? ?
I didn't notice that.
It's the Sylvia North story.
Okay, so who's Sylvia North?
Don't know.
Good question. Judging from this is what this commenter says. He wrote this article. It is presumably a tragic story of a fallen starlet for which both Diane and Camilla were auditioning.
Oh, I see. So the story's meta because it's like she's the fallen starlet.
So the story they were auditioning for
Is the story of her, basically.
is the story. And it's even more meta because all the people that are cast in this movie were struggling actors. So it's meta even in that respect
regard.
too.
Wow. That's
Fucking
deep.
crazy.
That's deep.
An accident is a terrible event. Notice the location of the accident.
Okay.
Side of the road.
When you go, TC, I think you're about to like give me a clue.
On
You're
Mulholland
like,
Drive.
I mean, it's
it's
got to be
on
right?
Mulholland Drive at Adam Kesher's house. It's the place where she gets out of the car. So I mean, the way I see the beginning portion is she calls a hit out on Camilla. And the way I see it is that the way the hit goes is that we don't see it, but she was in the back of the car. And in reality, the hit goes, Camilla is going somewhere and the two guys in the front either shoot her in the limo or they get her out of the car and shoot her. And that's how she dies.
Right.
But then in the dream, it's recreated to almost get to that point, but then a freak accident saves it. And so she's still alive because Naomi Watts' character doesn't want her to be dead after the fact. So she's created this situation where reality happened up until that accident, which happened outside of the director's house, Adam Kesher's house. And that's just a pivotal point because that's where the reality switches to this false narrative that Camilla / whatever her name is in the dream world. It's very confusing how they have different names in the reality and the dream world. But
Rita?
that's Rita. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want me to? So I'm going to try to contribute here.
Yeah,
And-
let's hear it.
And in the way that all lazy people are contributing these days, in asking my resident LLM.
There you go.
That's right.
Use your second brain there, John.
Yeah, I don't even have to think because I have a subscription. And you don't even have to think if you don't have a subscription. You're just going to think a little less. Well,
Think less and think less fast.
that's right.
Yeah.
we'll catch up here because I know you've already covered this. So yeah, the jitterbug dance, number one, right? It suggests Betty Dan's innocent dreams of stardom, right? Claps on the bed foreshadows much of what follows as a dream, right? As you
said. those are the two per the LLM.
It sets the film structure, split versus reality, right? And that it's setting you up right away if you get it. If you aren't paying attention or you're wondering what the fuck's Dave doing right now, I don't know what we're doing a jitterbug, then we're doing this other thing. You're not really trying to connect. And that's one thing which I think I feel bad about. I wasn't trying, I don't think, when I watched this. I was sort of like passively sitting there and not trying to see what the movie wanted to do. So
the thing is, though, because like the first half of the movie, don't feel bad, John, because I'm not sure you could guess at this the first watch. Because there's no other movies like this.
Not.
Yeah. Right? But the first half of the movie, past that intro part, is pretty straightforward. Like watching the first half, I'm just like, this is a straightforward story about someone coming up in LA. There's a mob. All of this makes sense. It's pretty linear. I'm not confused at all. Character motivations are pretty clear. Like all of it made sense until the sex scene, and she's like, let's go to the club at 2 a.m. And then the Club Silencio shit happens. Right. And then there's all this weird shit with the box and the transitions and the aunt coming home. And then she wakes up and I'm just like, I have no fucking idea what's happening right now.
I don't know, but it's still interesting to watch. Okay, so Lampshade. Lampshade glows red when mysterious phone calls are made between conspirators in the dream sequence. So that red often symbolizes danger, violence, or power. And the lampshade signals unseen forces controlling events in the Hollywood underworld. Like these calls might represent Diane's paranoia and sense of unseen people orchestrating her downfall. So the sense that people are out to get you.
So it's an ungrounded fear.
Yeah.
She has basically because she's floating around in this world. She feels anxious and sad and mad. Probably.
And people are out to get her.
She can't pin it,
even though she's not necessarily failing.
She's a nobody, right? But she probably feels like the world's against her or something. So.
Yeah. Right.
It's just these are the creations she's making in her mind to justify her failures.
Yeah.
Is the red shade. Okay.
And then
I like that.
The Sylvia North story, because this is the project Diane lost the role to Camilla, and that sparks her feelings of betrayal and inadequacy. And the title links the dream world casting conspiracy with Diane's real world humiliation and jealousy. So the casting conspiracy is a dream. It's part of it. And so the idea is that even possibly the way the mob stuff is more part of the dream than the reality. Part of her feeling of persecution. These are people out to get her, and that's why it has and if you can, once you can make that connection, maybe those scenes make more sense because they feel disconnected in a way. They feel like mob, but it doesn't feel like it flows. It's not like but this is what happens when you're just like thinking conspiratorial thoughts or whatever, you're not, it's not like it's all flowing one and the other. It's just like, and there's this, the mob's out, and there's that, it doesn't necessarily have to be all like strung out in a nice linear way. Right. So I kind of like that too. Okay. I'm working hard here. Accident. I'm working really hard here. You wouldn't believe how tired I am. I'm just proud of myself here.
Just keep patting yourself in the back there, John.
I am. Somebody needs to. So the accident, number 4, right? What happens? Rita survives a car crash on Mulholland Drive. In Diane's fantasy, the accident erases Rita's identity, making her vulnerable to reinvention by Betty.
It basically recreates her character so she can be manipulated by the main character.
Right.
Because in reality, she wasn't able to get her to love her. She wasn't able to manipulate her.
Or even help her get to the next level. Nothing. She just left her high and dry.
And Mulholland Drive is where Diane is left heartbroken after being taken there and abandoned by Camilla and Adam. So that's the idea, is like an accident is a terrible thing.
She was abandoned there?
Yeah.
Because I didn't get that.
I didn't get that.
So like was it abandoned just because they announced their wedding engagement?
I think they left.
Is that the abandonment?
Yeah, but I thought they left her. Or like, didn't they? I don't know what happened at the end of that party, baby. Sequence.
I thought she was just sad sitting in the chair.
Yeah, I think she just started to
alone,
cry.
But they might have left her, like sort of.
I didn't get that they left her at
the
party.
But certainly it's where.
I mean, in
but it was a big
grand
event
scheme
in
of
the
things.
sense of
they
like
left her, right?
Yeah,
very
and she got a ride. Like she could get back in that limo, get a ride back home. That doesn't sound like a big deal.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe it's just the fact that like she's abandoning any open relationship because she's committing herself to this dude. Maybe that's the abandonment they're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so the key
Okay, so now
key.
let's
Let's hold on the key. Let's hold on.
Caught up.
I got you.
Let's only do the LLM after we're confused and lost. And
The
then we can have a
LLM
discussion.
is kind of blurring the lines between what me and Denny are looking at,
You know
and
what?
it's all mapped out for us here in this
All I wanted to
website
do
here.
was feel
So-
like I'm contributing. So
Okay.
even if I'm a puppet. So go ahead.
Okay, so who gives a key and why? I'm not even sure what that question means. I had thoughts on what the key meant
She finds
And
the
I
key in her purse, right? That's when she
in
No,
the dream
she's
world.
given
in the dream
the key.
world, the blue key. Okay, but then it's somehow it's
Well,
related.
no, Camilla or
The hitman
Rita
gives it to
has
her.
it in her purse. There's a bunch of money in Rita's purse, and there's
Right.
a key in the purse.
Right.
And then the first time the box comes into play,
So here's it say right there.
She's-
Coco from Aunt Ruth to Betty enters the dream world.
Does it have to do with how
The
she,
hitman gives her
does
the
she
key when
pay-
it's
the hitman
done,
gives her the key,
which is
Right.
why she has that blue box because the key goes to that box, right?
But in the dream world, the key goes to that box.
in the dream
in
world, right,
reality,
right.
in reality, the key is different. It's painted blue, but it looks different, and you never see what it opens. But in reality, this is what I think. The hitman gives her the key because it has proof that she's dead or something in it. It's basically the key opens the door to the reality of the
Death.
of what she's created. So it's basically accepting the hit that she put
Like
in. She's
it's the token that says it's complete. So therefore, this is the key to you being, now a murderer.
But
Right.
it's weird.
And accepting
It's confusing.
reality.
Right. But the money
Before that,
but-
she didn't want to open it. So even
Right.
you see, even in reality, she doesn't open it. She has the key on her table.
Right.
She's refusing to sit with what she had done. And in the dream, same deal. The box and the key didn't open until she, at the end of the Club Silencio scene, she opens it. She dives in. The box falls on the ground, and then everything. And that's when we switch to reality
Right.
because she finally comes to terms in her dreams
right.
with the fact that she killed this person that she loved.
That all seems reasonable.
All for a
Yeah.
acting career, which
For a
is
career.
even more ridiculous.
Yeah. And that song that Rebecca Del Rio,
Crying.
another crying, it's a Roy Orbison song, which is funny because that awesome scene in Blue Velvet is also,
Another Roy Orbison song?
Yeah,
this one's just sung in
He
Spanish.
just likes that
Yeah.
music.
Hey,
It
it's
works
Roy
so
Orbison.
well.
It's good. Roy Orbison's got this kind of a good haunting sort of sound,
And this scene, so I don't speak fluent enough Spanish to be able to understand all the words, and that scene was pretty moving without understanding what the person was saying. But the lyrics align with the movie. It is, I'm gonna just read the lyrics really quick if it's, I feel like that's a good thing to do. I was all right for a while. I could smile for a while, but I saw you last night. You held my hand so tight as you stopped to say hello. You wished me well. You couldn't tell that I've been crying over you. And you said so long, left me standing alone and crying. It's hard to understand, but the touch of your hand can start me crying. I thought that I was over you, but it's true, so true. I love you even more than I did before. But darling, what can I do? For you don't love me, and I'll always be crying over you. Yes, now you're gone, and from this moment on, I'll be crying over you.
Yep.
Like that fits
the
with the narrative.
situation. Yep.
Yep, perfectly. And she's sitting there with, the idea of the person she wants, and she's saying goodbye to this idea as the song is playing, sitting next to the idea in her head.
Mm-hmm.
It's good shit.
It's great. Lots of thought going into that.
Yeah. So who gives a key and why? I'm not sure. It just kind of points to the importance of a key.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What do you guys think about that? The idea of like accepting what she's done as being the whole point of the key in the box.
Makes sense to me.
LLM agrees with you too.
Oh, look at
So
that.
in the dream,
Me and the robot, friends.
Diane received in reality. In the dream, Rita and Bay discover the blue key that opens the blue box. In reality, Diane receives a blue key from the hitman after ordering Camilla's murder. Still don't quite understand why the hitman gives her a key. That just seems like a weird hitman thing to do. It's like, you'll know
It's
she's
just
dead
symbolism.
because you'll
It's not-
read it in the newspaper, but whatever.
It's just to link it back.
It's
yeah,
just to
and
link
that
it
was,
back.
I guess, yeah.
Because I was also it's like, what could be in the locker that this opens? Like,
Right,
what's
I
it going
don't
to
get
be?
it.
Her
It's
teeth?
like,
why would she want that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. It's almost like it seems to like be the other way around. It's like, look, I'm going to give you a key to a safe lockbox that contains your payment. So I don't know, but even whatever. But yeah, the key represents confirmation of the death in the real world. In the dream, it opens the box that destroys the fantasy, and the blue key is Diane's symbol of finality and guilt, kind of along with the box and opening the box. So I think You and LLM agree there, I think.
Yeah, dead on that one. Good for me.
Yeah.
TC got that one too. That one, looking back on it, felt so. I feel like this movie was more clear because just looking back on it, I was able to come up with a lot of the stuff myself. Unlike Lost Highway, where I don't know if like we got trains from his other movies, like Lost Highway was similar enough where I was picking up hints. But anyway, number 6. Notice the robe, the ashtray, the coffee cup. I noticed there were a lot of robes, but that's it. I didn't notice an ashtray or a coffee cup at all.
Well, the ashtray was in the scene where the girl's coming back to pick up her shit.
I'll give you a hint. I'll give you at least the LLM has a pretty weak explanation too. So I don't know if you guys need to feel too bad if you're not making some strong connections here. But
it's good to know we're as dumb as the LLM.
Yeah.
We make shit up too. That's everyone's complaining about hallucinations. I have a couple myself here and there.
This is a long one. Like I'm not going to read all this. I can't. It's too long. It's the
that's
longest
too-
explanation so far.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
a long
leads me
one.
to believe there's no good explanation for it.
Right.
I just, here's the simpler one from the LLM is more that there's these domestic objects that are appearing both in Betty's dream and in Diane's shabby apartment, suggesting that it shows how elements of the reality are seeping into her dream. So you're seeing these things that are sort of
Makes sense.
that are in both worlds, but then the apartments are still quite different. Like there's the fantasy apartment is bright and tidy, and the grim Diane's real living space is not like that. But these same objects are still in both. So you're just sort of like it. So one explanation is that what it's doing is showing how this reality. Yes, there's dream and reality, but it's also blurred. There's also like these elements of reality that are existing both in the dream and not.
And that came across too, because I feel like watching the dream, it's not like you're watching just a bunch of nonsense that happens in someone's head.
Right,
and who cares,
right.
like Inception or something like that.
Right.
Everything that happens in the dream speaks to her character and what she had done. Right. Like it's a roundabout way of getting at what actually happened. So it does feel like there's weight to it, which is, I think, the best trick of the movie. At least one of the best tricks of it is to, usually dreams, they don't matter. It didn't happen. Who cares? But this one's different because it tells you the story through the dream. Crazy.
Yep.
Number 7. What is felt, realized, and gathered at Club Silencio? I feel like we talked about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else to bring up on that? All is an illusion. The dream wasn't reality. Lies. Hollywood is fake. The dream is over. The relationship wasn't real. Everything.
True.
This movie isn't real. The relationship isn't real. Hollywood isn't real.
Everything you think
All
it
of
is,
that.
it's not. And you have to have a thick skin to not kill yourself.
And I agree. Even outside of the movie, it was a brilliant sequence. Not trying to connect anything else, which I was not doing very well. I still really loved the setup, the saying there is no band, there is no, this is all illusion, and then there's a beautiful performance all the while, and the magician himself acted so well, like just to as the showman, and it was just very, very, really cool sequence. But yeah, you guys are totally right. Or at least you guys are in agreement with the LLM. That their dreams breaking apart, and Betty/Diane realize everything is illusion, love, identity, success. And it's the turning point where the dream is giving away to reality too, right? So this is where it's ending. This is where they're sitting there having it called out to them, sort of like,
It's kind of like the end of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. She's like in her dream, she's losing somebody in the dream and is like realizing that's happening and is very sad about it.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of thing. Just done in a more roundabout way for sure.
Yeah, but I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Number 8. Did talent alone help Camilla? Interesting. I didn't think about that one. Does that imply that she's sleeping with the director?
It does.
Because I mean,
think.
they are sleeping together, I guess.
Yep.
Because they were going to get married.
It's
which
why she
implies
got the
that-
role, but then again, like some of it is like, is that what she is thinking to keep herself together? Right. The other one, not Camilla, not Rita. Like, you don't know if are they trying to say that, or is that her perception of it as she goes further into madness?
It's a pretty simple one. It's at least, or this might be just more straightforward if I look at the LM explanation, or it's not necessarily too deep.
I don't buy it. It's more complicated than that.
Oh, yeah,
Well, doesn't know
it's
shit.
really just more like, Camilla's succeeding and Diane's failing, and Adam is kissing Camilla at the party, confirming romantic connections. It's Camilla's career isn't just about acting skill, but her personal relationships with Adam and others in power, and that's where Diane is interpreting this as unfair and fuels her jealousy. Sort of. So it's just
That's what we're saying, right?
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
That's what I'm saying. It's
That's
pretty
exactly what we're
straightforward. No, that's what I'm saying. Is it's not too deep. It doesn't need to go any deeper than that, really, necessarily. That it's just.
But what TC is saying is that since it blurs the lines of reality, and even in the current future awake portion of it, it's still through, what's her name?
The lens of
her perception. So
Right.
it could just be. I mean, that scene was overacted in a good way. I thought, like when he's proposing to her, it was so over the top that I was like, okay, this is blown out because this is her seeing this happen. This isn't like how it happens.
No, because
this
the
how
person
she thinks
is
of it
beyond.
happening.
Yeah.
because she wasn't on set too. By the way,
but they're like beyond joyful. But then also she's looking at her in this like, isn't this great for me and shit for you? And I don't care. I mean, so it's done in that way to maximize the pain, kind of, or maximize the damage being done, right? So as you would when when something bad happens and you're rethinking it in your mind, and if you're really hurt by something, then you are going to kind of exaggerate the badness, right?
And then also potentially make up things to make yourself feel better about what TC was saying, or anything sex related was actually just in her head.
This guy is such an asshole, and I've been betrayed by my friend, and so you feel better by exaggerating that, right? By like making them.
She's using what happened at the party in the dream on set, basically.
Mm-hmm. I was pretty confused that the Camilla Rhodes in the dream world was a totally different actor, a third actor.
Was it?
That was fucking confusing. Yeah, it was the scene where they're doing the tryouts, and the director is like, he gets the direction of like, this is the girl, and Naomi Watts' character, Betty at the time, was like not auditioning. She just came to set because it was after her audition, and the casting directors brought her there. She saw the girl do the song. It was the second girl that did the song. She was Camilla Rhodes. She was the one that they were saying in the dream world audition boardroom that they had to pick her, and she's just a motherfucking actor, just a different person.
That's why I think it was
Camilla.
That's why I think it was all in her head.
Well, for sure, that part's in her head, but it was like, I mean, it makes sense that she's imagining this scenario where the director is being forced to pick Camilla because that makes her feel better about Camilla making it. But it's just confusing how that's like a third person playing that role. Like, I found that pretty confusing.
Yeah. Interesting.
I guess she was removing Camilla from that role because she already had her as the character, the brain damaged person that didn't have any memory in her apartment she could like have sex with and stuff in her fantasy.
True.
But, like, she couldn't reuse the character. She already used her. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's just because she's making up like Camilla has everything. So she even has this role in my fucked up world that I'm thinking about it all in. That's kind of how I took it.
Okay. She has so much good for her that even in my dream, I need another character for her because all of these things she's able to do, sort of thing.
Right. Or she showed up and what all she really saw in reality was that actor. And then in her dream, it's totally different.
That's true.
Because like the storyline is that it's Camilla.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's also why like, I don't buy anything from when she was watching the two of them, but there could be some reality when she goes to set just because she happens to be there. But the only reason why that could not be the case is because she just came from a dream sequence audition.
Mm-hmm.
But we're assuming that she's just coming from that because the two women are still there. But she may have not been. So, like, I don't know. Again, now I'm fucked myself up again.
Yeah, which one didn't? Which one happened? Which one didn't?
Which one
did
happened?
Both
Which
of them
one
happen?
didn't?
Did
Right.
none of them happen? Yeah,
right.
It's,
right. Well, I just
But either
walked
way,
myself into a circle there, didn't I?
at the very least, she's thinking about how good of an actor she is, and also thinking about how the world is against her. Like the whole industry is pushing her down.
Well, and it just, it's just such a tough thing to think about. How like one person makes it, one person doesn't. Sometimes it's just because they're friends with the important guy.
One person makes it, 10,000 people don't make it.
I know.
More like, yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Not a lot. No. I mean, Naomi Watts is an amazing actor. She had a lot of good roles after this. Nobody paid her any attention before this role. And as soon as this premiered at Cannes Film Festival.
That was it?
And she just started getting phone calls literally the next day being like, hey, what are you doing next? What are you doing next?
Isn't that crazy?
Yep. Struggling. 10 years living in Hollywood.
Meanwhile, the rest of them
as a
are
mentor.
Bartenders.
Yeah. Nicole Kidman was her mentor. And it was timed, what Naomi Watts was talking about, timed perfectly bad where she's from Australia, which is, I guess, why Nicole Kidman's friends with her because she's also from Australia. But she would be leaving LA being like, I can't make it. And then she'd get a small role and be like, oh,
I can do it.
Let me do it.
Yep, that's
and
how
then
it
she'll go
goes.
do the small role. And then 6 months would pass.
Nothing
and she'd
would
run out of
happen
money.
again.
She's like, nothing would happen.
Yep.
She's like, okay, I'm going to go back to Australia. And be like, oh, we got another one for you.
Yep.
So she was just hanging on with small projects for 10 years
Brutal.
before getting this call. Yeah. So that's tough.
I mean, and she's lucky
Fuck
because
that.
she's really good looking too.
Yeah.
Like,
And
imagine all the
has
people that
talents.
don't look good and are
Yeah.
still doing that, and they're still hoping for the best. And it's
Yeah.
And then
This
there's that
movie
guy
has-
that's 75 and gets hired for a major role because they need the old guy. I don't know. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
That old guy looked like an old shoe. He was cast really well.
He was.
He was
Guy
gross.
from Florida,
Yeah.
you know?
All right, number 9. Note the occurrences surrounding the man behind Winkies.
The weird, scary thing.
Guy caked in mud.
Yeah.
I had thoughts about what that guy was.
Right.
It's just the personification of death is what I
Yeah.
thought.
Right.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he's only in it 3 times?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the beginning, the guy who represents her talking about the hit she puts out on him gets scared to death with the idea of death. That's why she's having this crushing anxiety, is because she's thinking about the death that she caused.
Yeah.
Right? So that kind of makes
That's
sense
one.
in that scene.
Yep.
And
Kinda.
then at the middle, they just show him. I didn't understand the middle one, but the end one makes sense where he has the box. The box is open. He drops it on the ground, and then the parents come out where the other anxieties come out. So she's thinking about death. There's anxiety there, and then the parental anxiety of you didn't make it.
I think
you
it-
killed somebody, you didn't make it. It's just too much for her, and that pushes her over the edges. And
that's
has-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when she kills herself.
Another one bites
Yeah,
the dust in Los Angeles.
I think it's just
Yeah.
a little more misleading that it's just this guy. It doesn't. I don't know. It just seems a little strange because he seems to just sort of be.
You learn nothing from Lost Highway, John?
Just a guy.
Ideas can be people.
Well, he's
You
at
can
the
just-
end, right?
I know, but kind of
The
yeah.
smoke.
But I know ideas can be people. But why this? Why this guy? This guy just seems like
It's
a guy.
scary.
I don't know.
It's death. It's just
Anyway.
death. That's it.
Yeah.
Because he jump scares you, and he hides, and you don't know exactly where he is or what he looks like. It's hard to see. It's kind of a lot of...
It's ominous.
Yeah. Last one. Where is Aunt Ruth? This is a good question.
Where is she?
The dream world, she leaves, goes on vacation, gives her the apartment.
She's dead.
Is she dead? But
Yeah,
they show
she's
her as
dead.
soon as the box opens in the bedroom of her aunt's apartment. It shows her aunt coming and looking in the room,
Because she's
and
dead.
there's nobody in there.
Because the
Who's
box
dead?
is open. She's dead.
Who's dead?
The aunt is dead.
The aunt is dead?
Yeah.
I thought the
Ruth-
aunt was
Ruth
just
is dead.
No, she's in. So in the dream world, when they are kind of going on their sleuth mission and they're trying to figure out who this person that knew her was, right? They're like, oh, you know her? Maybe she'll tell you what your name is and things like that. And they go to the apartment and they go to number 17 and somebody else is there. And she's like, oh, we switched apartments. She's in that, but she hasn't been there for a while. The other apartment was Diane, or whatever, Naomi Watts' real apartment, because that's the scene where she confronts, that's where she wakes up when they say wake up now. So she's in that bed. The dead body is her. That's where she sleeps. When the cowboy comes in, she wakes up. The scene comes in where Camilla comes to the house and she has the key on the table. That's in that hotel room. When she's at the kitchen countertop having a conversation with a dream, Camilla being like, "You're back." She's like, she starts crying. She's like, "Oh my God, you're back." And then it cuts and she's not there anymore. That was also in that other apartment. So she spends, I think, all of the time in that secondary hotel and not I don't think we go back to the aunt's apartment after that last shot of the aunt walking around in the apartment.
I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm confused.
That's good.
That's what happens
Sorry
with this
John.
fucking
Hey,
movie.
yo, hello.
Yeah. Does that make sense though? I'm
Yeah.
not talking falsely, right? I'm
No,
pretty
no.
sure that's.
But I think she's dead. So I mean, that's just.
You think the aunt's dead?
I think the aunt's
thought
dead.
Didn't they talk about the aunt being dead or something in the second half?
I think she's dead.
And
I thought she was on the phone with her or something, that she's just gone back to Canada. Like she's just in the. Well,
we
dead.
had a
but
handle
that's
on
during
this
the
now.
dream sequence. So like none of that's real.
Yeah, but
She never had the
if
fucking
that's-
place to go in the first place, right? If we can
but
assume
the
that.
aunt must have at least owned that at some point in time, at the very least, right? Because they
Maybe.
show it after the box is open and we're kicked into reality.
Oh yeah.
Maybe though, because that's
May-
right after the box opens. Maybe she's saying goodbye to the dream world, and then we go over to Naomi Watts' character waking up in her apartment. Maybe that's still a part of the dream world.
I think that might still be a part of the dream world.
That one's confusing. I'm not sure I get that one.
Because
My
the
brain hurts
reality
from
is
thinking
she's all
about
by
it.
herself there now.
The aunt.
No, Diane.
Diane's alone by herself, not in her aunt's apartment.
Right.
We can agree on
right,
that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Not in her own apartment.
Right.
And in the dream sequence, the aunt somehow lives there and is alive.
Yeah.
But that's, I think, prior years in a dream, not at all in reality. Like I think aunt's
It's
dead
the only other place she
already.
had in LA that she was aware of the inside, maybe. So like she didn't want to spend her dream world in her gross apartment that she sleeps
There you
in all
go.
day.
All right,
so
now
she's
I'm
like,
starting-
oh, I know this other place.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
like this
And
is
that place
where
hasn't been
me
around
and
for
my
a
dream
while,
girl.
but
Yeah.
that
I know
makes
the
more
map
sense.
of it. It's a good place for a fantasy to play out because it's got a nice courtyard and everything. Like,
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. We circled
Sometimes
that one.
talking.
I like
Yeah,
that.
we
Yeah.
pinned it up there, John.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Stay
We got
quiet. You know, things happen.
Trying.
Let us spin our wheels over here.
I'm blinking.
What does the LLM say? I'm curious. What does
Aunt Ruth
what does the
just
LLM say
says
about Aunt Ruth?
She's just never there. She's just gone to Canada. The absence underlies the artificiality of Betty's world. In reality, Diane lives in a dingy apartment, not a glamorous Hollywood pad. The dream creates a glamorous aunt's apartment to hide her failure and loneliness. Just so nothing really.
So wait, so they're saying she's in Canada, but
The aunt.
scene where they
But in the
Tran-
dinner party, she says she's dead.
Oh, I don't. Okay.
So if the dinner party's reality,
She died in Canada.
lady's
You
dead.
know,
Lady's been dead the whole time.
yeah, because one of these things says the final scene is a flashback to a time where Aunt Ruth was still living.
mm.
The fuck? I thought I had a handle on everything in this movie.
Yeah, I think
this
she's
one.
dead.
You have to watch it
This
again.
one's confusing. That's fun. All right, that's all.
Because
10.
I also think the aunt would have been, because wasn't she supposed to be an actor? She would have been an actor when she was young.
Was everyone in there an actor? She didn't seem like the actor type.
Huh.
Maybe she was like a script supervisor or something like that.
Oh no, because that's in the dream that she says that she's in. That's in the dream
Oh, yeah.
that she says she's an actor. So yeah, no, that the Aunt Ruth's gone, long gone. That's where we're gonna end that one with. What's the next one?
Yeah, that's
What
it.
are we
That's
out?
10.
What are we doing next?
That's
What else
10.
you got
All
for
right.
trivia?
Wait.
We got some trivia.
I've also got to get putting
Oh,
it
John's
all
got more. Oh,
together.
John wakes
from-
up right at the end when the segment's done. Okay, yeah.
Yes, that's right. Sorry, but the LLM was working hard, and I just feel kind of bad for it. It tried to put it all together for us to give us a summary. So it's like the idea is you need to these all clues are designed to map Betty's dream sequence to Diane's real life. So Betty is Diane's fantasy, self-talented, innocent, successful. Rita is Camilla, imagined as dependent and vulnerable. And the Hollywood conspiracies are Diane's ways of rationalizing failure. And Club
Perfect.
Silencio and the Blue Box is the collapse of the dream. And the reality is Diane's jealousy, betrayal, hit on Camilla, guilt, and then eventual suicide.
We got it. We got the whole gist of it. All right, you guys, are we ready for some trivia?
Okay, sure.
Yeah. They had a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Some David Lynch. I mean, this movie was the biggest budget movie he ever had. Started off as an $8 million pilot for a TV show, added $7 million to make it a movie. So that's $15 million total. It did okay at the box office for the time, made like $20 million across the seas, did pretty good on VHS and DVD and all that stuff. But he never made big budget movies. He never made a ton of box office. But they were like scrappy. Like he would hire unknown people for the most part. there was a scene where they were filming inside the limo, and I've seen a lot of things shoot in cars, and I've never seen anyone dragging a cable along the side of a car. They had a bunch of like stage hands 20 feet apart holding this thick ass cable running alongside the limo as they drove down Mulholland Drive.
Whoa.
So like they had all these power cables, all these like monitor cables all tied together, hanging out the side of the limo so they could have the camera in the limo filming all of those scenes.
Whoa.
And then a bunch of people just like running down the street.
Back
in LA.
before they had all this cool shit now where you can just place them in no matter what.
Total
Wow.
hack job or whatever you want to call it. You know, like they
Sounds
just threw it
dangerous
together.
too.
Yeah.
Kinda.
It's not like Ben-Hur, but I mean it's definitely not approved by anybody. It was
Not
thrown
OSHA
together for sure.
approved. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. He improvises shots on set. It's funny because every time I watch David Lynch work, it doesn't disprove how he works in other movies, but it adds to his method. And this one, he improv'd a lot on set. Like he would be talking with the actors and the cinematographer and the lighting designers, and they'd be on set and everything would be kind of set up for the most part. And then they would stand there in the middle of it and be like, all right, what I want to do here is I want you two, talking to the actors, come out of there. I want you to walk like a cat. I want you to be like a little like puppy dog or whatever following her. And then I want the lights to follow you up here. He's talking to the Steadicam guy of like, all right, I want you to like focus on their faces. And then at one point go down to their hands and then come back to their faces as he's walking backwards up these steps. He talks about where he wants to like have them land. He does a lot of blocking. Like they discuss everything. People get input from all the different people as they discuss it. They finally come to a conclusion. He's like, all right, let's do a couple takes, see how it goes. We'll come back and talk afterwards. So then they just like, they wing it. So like it's not really winging. They plan it to an extent, try things out, figure out what doesn't work. They work around issues. Like the Steadicam guy, there was a sharp turn in the staircase up and he was having a really hard time focusing on them during the turn because it's hard to walk backwards up during a turn and keep them in focus because he has to rebalance himself with a Steadicam. So they worked around that. They like figured like David made a cut in his mind for what was going to happen in the movie. And he's like, all right, I want this cut now since we can't have this one long continuous take. We're now going to have you up close to them and you're going to be directing them. He's talking to the cinematographer, the camera guy, being like, it's hard for me to yell from up here. So you're going to tell them what to do. Just be like, cameras on your face, cameras on your face, cameras on your hands, cameras on your hands, cameras on your face. And just do that as you're walking backwards to like direct the actors on like where he's pointing the camera.
Wow.
So they can like focus on that for what they're doing, as opposed to Lynch doing it from a megaphone like 100 feet away or whatever.
That's crazy.
He's making edits in his head. He's giving people like weird tasks. The camera guy's doing the direction. He's just whatever they can figure out to work, and he's pretty open to ideas. And if they like when he has it, he knows he likes it, and then they just move on. He's like, okay, he knows he like edits it in his head. It sounds like when they're going along, he's like, we got it. I know how to make this work. This is great.
That's called being skilled.
Mm-hmm. He plays the soundtrack a lot during the filming of the movie because, as I said before, this what's the name of this guy? He was actually in the movie too. The composer that he works with a lot of the time. I'm not familiar with IMDb anymore to figure this out quickly. Anthony something or other. He's the composer. He writes stuff on a keyboard. He's the guy. Angelo Badalamenti. He's the guy who spits the espresso into the napkin in that scene. He acts in this movie in the pretty funny part. But he sits there and with David Lynch, sits there next to him on the piano, and David Lynch talks to him. Talks to him about moods, talks to him like about feelings and ideas, and just talks to him. And this Angelo guy plays the music on the piano. He's just listening to David's words and trying to translate them into the piano. And if it's not following what David Lynch is thinking, David would be like, no, not like that, like this. And then like continue talking. And then they eventually weave their way in a direction, and he's recording everything.
Wow.
And they just do that for a while. And then they create a mood. Eventually they cut a lot of it out and like recompose things. And they basically come up with a soundtrack for a movie before anything for the movie portion is even shot. Like before anybody's cast, before a script is made, they come up with a soundtrack that is basically the basis for the mood and everything else that goes on in the movie.
Isn't that what Hans Zimmer does that?
But the directors don't do that.
No,
right?
no.
Hans Zimmer does get like he does do that. He composes before he gets an edit, and that happens somewhat frequently, but not frequently, but it does happen. But composing it and basing the movie on it
It's
from the
crazy.
writer-director's portion, that does not happen.
No.
I'm pretty sure it's never happens because there aren't too many writer-directors. The really good ones we've watched a lot of them of, and that's just it's super weird way to go about it, but it's useful because his movies are strange, and that's kind of his thing, and that helps them be strange because as long as whatever he's getting fits the mood, then it's going to work in the movie because that's really what he's going for is the mood. Super weird. Composer was on set all the time too, giving his thoughts.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Not typical.
No, he's friends with all these people. The guy who played the cowboy is his friend. He's not an actor. I forget what his name is, but he's not a famous person. He's not an actor. He's one of David Lynch's friends. David likes his look. He likes the way he talks. And he's got a really cool collection of old Hollywood outfits that are worth a lot of money.
Wow.
So that cowboy outfit that he's wearing is like worth a fortune. And this guy, the actor who wears it, owns all that shit. He's just like a collector of old Hollywood clothing. It's like Max Richter, it said. It was his wardrobe he bought. Some old Hollywood dude. But that guy was not a good actor. Justin Theroux, the scene where they were like in the up in his ranch or whatever, and they have a little one-on-one at night. Justin Theroux is an actor, right? He wasn't a famous actor at the time, but he knows how to act. And this guy comes on set and he reads the script. And Justin's like, "You got it? You're ready for the shoot today?" And he's like, yeah, I got it. And they get to set and they start rolling, and he can't remember his lines.
Oh,
And he's
man.
surprised that he can't remember his lines. And Justin's like, "Did you memorize the lines?" And he's like, "No, I just read it. I read it once. I just read it." And he's like, "You have to memorize the lines." So they ended up in the shots where you can see the back of Justin Theroux's character, and he's the guy's pointing towards the camera. Justin Theroux has lines pasted onto his forehead, his face, his chest, and you can see the cowboy guy reading the lines off of Justin Theroux.
Oh, wow.
And Justin was standing there being like, "This is going to be terrible. This guy can't act. This is going to edit so
But it worked.
badly." It worked so well. The guy was creepy as shit. His stilted way of talking was just unsettling.
And he's in a dream sequence, so all is well.
What does he say at the end? Like one of the creepiest things, he's like, "If you do good, you'll see me one more time. If you do bad, you'll see me two more times. Have a good night." And just like turns away. I'm like, "Oh, I don't know why that's so
I
scary."
don't know what that means, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy how so much stuff works in this movie. Especially considering how free-flowing Lynch seems to be. I mean, he's been doing the same kind of thing. He's got his own little workflow going, but it's still kind of surprising. What else we got? Yeah, his friend Pierre was the French guy that funded the movie version of this, so he was just friends with the guy who ended up getting it made, you know? It's great to have rich French dudes as your buddies. That's what I always say.
Oh, yeah.
I got plenty of
Definitely.
them.
Tons of them.
The night of the green light. So basically, when the pilot got shut down, there was a decent period of time between when the movie got greenlit, and in between that time, ABC owned all the sets. They destroyed all the sets. David Lynch stopped thinking about it since he was thinking it was going to be a series. He didn't have any ideas of how it was going to work as a movie, but they were still going through with all this production stuff, like trying to find money, trying to find funding to get it to go forward because there was good footage there he wanted to use. And the night they got the green light, he panicked for a little bit because he's like, "Shit, like we're going now. I have no ideas. We have no sets. I have no script. Like we don't know what we're doing." He meditates every day, and he said during that meditation session, the entire movie came to him.
Whoa.
He sat there and just he called it a string of pearls, one at a time, just popped into his head, and he wrote
Damn.
it down, and that's how this movie ended up.
Pretty awesome.
Pretty cool. Creative. Guy's got ideas. He's got shit going on in his head. He, quote, "lets actors do what they want to do and then only adds or revises parts." So if it's working, it's great. If it doesn't, he'll go in there and fix it. Otherwise, the actors are doing their thing. When Naomi Watts was furiously masturbating there, she was very uncomfortable with that scene. They built a black box around her so it could be as private as possible, but she was crying in reality and screaming at Lynch during the filming of that being like, I can't do this. I can't. This is too hard, whatever. And she was like crying on set and still doing it, but like angry and sad and all this stuff. And Lynch was on the megaphone, and Naomi Watts made an impersonation. In a pretty good David Lynch impersonation. I'm not going to be able to replicate it, but he's just like, it's okay, Naomi. It's okay. It's okay, Naomi. It's okay. Okay, Naomi. It's okay. You're okay. Okay. Just like
Oh my
out on the other
God.
side of the black screen, just like trying to like keep her together.
Oh.
Like, oh man, I don't know what to say. It's okay. We got to get the shot. It's important. But
Oh,
they
man.
both. So she had a hard time with that scene. They both had a hard time with the love scene because they're both pretty shy people. That's a pretty intense scene, and they didn't like it when it was happening. But they promised them the lights were dim. Like David Lynch was like, I promise you, like, look at the monitor, look at how dim this is. Like, you guys look great. Don't be self-conscious. This will look really good. And they're both very happy now because they're older women now. And they're both like, I am now happy that I got myself on celluloid like that while I still looked like that.
Oh.
So like, I love this.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
It's funny how
So
it
that's-
changes.
That's interesting. Yeah. Plus this movie is like one of the most highly reviewed movies ever made. So like that
That
by
helps.
itself.
That helps.
Yeah.
They were at parties on Mulholland Drive after this. Yeah.
Yeah. Living the dream. They moved into the dream world. That must have been fucking weird.
That's true.
After this, diving into the dream world. David Lynch, quote, sound is so important.
Thank God.
Quote,
Aw.
they say picture dictates sound. Sometimes it should be reversed, is what David Lynch says. So, I mean, yeah. We talk about this a lot because we're audio-focused ex-musician type people that do our own recordings who focus on audio, but like it's so overlooked in movies over and over again, and we always try to bring it up when it's not overlooked, and David Lynch does not overlook it. He makes it like the focus almost. It is at least half as important as everything else going on in the film, which is, great.
Yep.
It is great. What else we got? So Rebecca Del Rio is the woman actor in this movie. She's also the person who sang the song in the movie. What happened is that she was kind of a famous singer. She won like some local San Diego singing competitions, kind of low key celebrity. Not even really that. She just was a really good singer that had like a career from singing in San Diego. One of his friends owned a sound studio, and she happened to be passing through. This is years before they made this movie. She came into the sound studio and just started messing around. She was in there for 5 minutes, Lynch said, and just started singing this version of the song because she was like, oh my God, this is such a nice studio. Let me test it out. And I'm just going to sing in this booth and pretend like I'm a famous singer. And the audio recording engineer hit record without saying anything, just on a whim, recorded this off the street. She sang this once, and it was so good. This is what we hear in the movie, that it was 2 years afterwards that David Lynch weaved it into the plot of the movie because he just had this recording of this woman singing this song in this way.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it fits. It's perfect.
Yeah. And in
Man.
some way, I'm sure like he probably wrote the script around it a bit because the lyrics are dead on, right? They are describing the plot of the movie. So like that probably influenced the way the movie went, I would imagine. He didn't say anything about that, but it just fits too perfectly. And if he was sitting on it, then it makes sense.
Sure does.
Yeah. Melded A into the idea of tape. Oh, yeah. That's what I just said. What else? Yeah, the casting director had an interview. She filters people to Lynch. Lynch likes headshots. If you got a bad headshot, get out of here. You're going in the trash bin. You got to have a good headshot. Yeah. She worked on Blue Velvet, did the same thing. Laura, who plays Camille, was a VH1 VJ before this. That's what she was doing. That's how famous she was. When she walked in to the audition, she just walked into the room with David Lynch there, and David Lynch goes, good.
Okay.
And that's it. And then he sits her down and starts playing the music and stares at her for a while. And then she got the role.
It's
Nice. Okay.
wild.
Yep. She was pretty happy about it. She felt giddy when he was saying good because she was just like,
Oh,
I don't know
feel
what this
good.
is. This is weird, but I feel like I'm getting the role right now. So
Yeah?
hell yeah, fuck it.
Right?
Oh, Justin Theroux went up to him at one point and asked David Lynch, who are these people? What are their motivations? What are they doing here? And David Lynch turned to him happy, with the expression of happiness on his face, and says, I don't know. Let's find out. So that's what you get if you ask David Lynch what's going on in his movies. He doesn't know.
But he does. He's just not going to let you know, because then it's going to screw up your performance.
To some extent, but he's also discovering the characters and what the movie's going to be as
it's happening
too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He was very open-minded. So at Cannes Film Festival, apparently you can get booed if your movie sucks. David Lynch is aware that his movies are sometimes critically panned, and everybody worked really hard on this movie. It was over a long period of time, and they were going to Cannes with it to show it first. So he sat all the actors down and say, all right, guys, sometimes you can get booed at Cannes. Or Cannes. You can get booed. So like prepare yourself for that. Keep your chins up. And the quote he said at the end was, creativity is something no critic can judge. Is what he says.
That's fair.
So he's like, be proud. Like, just remember how you feel about what you did in this movie before we go in there.
Because if it goes bad,
because that's what matters.
Right.
Is how you feel about it and how what your thoughts. That's what matters.
Yeah, I mean, you never know how it's going to go, right?
Yeah. But they got it. So they were actually pretty nervous because the movie ended and there was silence for a bit, dead silence. And then it broke into a standing ovation. But like there was a period where people were just like, the fuck was that? Was that good? Everyone's just like, was that good? Did I like that? I'm pretty sure I like that. Should we start clapping? Should we stand up? Yeah, let's all do it at the same time. Yeah, so that's what happens. I think that's about it. Would you put this in the top 250?
Yes.
Yes.
I need to see it again. I don't know.
You should.
You got to see it again,
I think
John.
so.
It's totally worth watching again.
I know.
So once you understand, I found watching it this time, once you get the confusing part out of the way and understand overall what's happening, there's so much going on. Like you learn about her real character through the dream in ways that like constantly amazed me as I watched it. Just for that by itself, it's worth a rewatch. Just knowing the basic structure.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So yes or no? What was that?
I will go with a yes, though.
Yeah, he's going with a yes.
I'm
too tired to say no, and I don't want to argue with you
there
guys.
You go.
Exactly.
That's good enough for us.
Yeah. All right. So next week we're going to Lynch's first one. We're doing Eraserhead, and this will be the transition into horror month. Even though I'm not sure what you call this movie. Open your mind, John. Be prepared for anything.
Try.
Okay?
Maybe I need to watch it in the morning or something. I don't know. Have a big cup of coffee and watch it.
There you go.
Because this movie is, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's a little slow. I'll say that. So just prepare for that.
Okay.
Because you look like you can't handle slow is the only reason I'm telling you right now. Because right now, if you turned on a slow one, you wouldn't make it through.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be happy for a slow. Sing me to sleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I do appreciate you coming. Usually you come in with too much knowledge about the movie, right? Well, for these ones, you're leaving yourself just open.
I'm trying to I mean, in a way, it's maybe not fair because in some way, I don't know. I don't think I would have been better served though by. It's almost like the best experience probably is to watch it, be confused, learn about it, then go watch it again and be impressed. I guess. I mean,
it's kind of how it has to be.
If I were to like go and read up on this stuff, then I don't think I would. I don't know. I still want the experience of what is it like if I don't know anything about it, particularly with these kinds of films that are symbolic and weird.
It's important because once you learn about it and then rewatch it and it clicks, you're like, wow, it's amazing how all this stuff was hidden and I had no idea because of how confusing it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
But also I just wasn't in a spot to give it a really good chance this week. So I mean that was also just
happens.
Yeah.
Always a factor.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
All right. So next week.
Eraserhead.
Next week, Eraserhead. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's
Thank you for listening.
Yeah. And then we're diving into friggin' Halloween, guys. The best month of the year.
You got your list picked out already, Denny?
Oh, I got a great list this year, guys. Be excited.
Do you have a theme? Because last time ago, I think you had a theme for it. Like we did decades or something. I forgot.
Yeah,
this is a mild theme. It wasn't. This one
is
theme.
The theme is horror movies by directors that have done other movies that we have liked.
Okay.
They're not necessarily horror movie directors, but directors that have done horror movies That sort of. Some of them have. Some of them haven't.
I like
Okay.
it. It's a great
It's a good
theme.
4
job.
weeks
All
coming
right,
up.
Well done. Yeah, well done.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
See you
Talk to
later.
guys next
See
week.
you later, guys.
Bye.